Steps in, stops it. Crosby scores! At 12 seconds of the second period.
Hello and welcome to MegaHockey, the podcast, episode 12. How's it going? I am Megalite, joined as always by Dattore. How's it going, Dattore?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing out there?
So today we're going to be recapping the NHL free agency 2026, and which has been crazy so far. So we're going to get into it all, and we're going to tier list each NHL team's free agency by how much it affected the team, either positively or negatively. So we have some announcements to get into before we start that, though. So, MegaHockey Studios has released their new website. MegaHockeystudios.com has everything, every single project that MegaHockey Studios has worked on. All come out into one website with our games like Scrap Brawl and Stellar Blitz, and to our YouTube channels. So that's really exciting. Make sure to visit that after you listen to this podcast episode. And do you want to start, Dattore?
Go check out megaflamestudios.com.
Yeah, definitely do.
All right.
Okay. So our first team is the Anaheim Ducks. Now we're starting hot here. So let's get into the big one, shall we?
Absolutely.
So the Philadelphia Flyers already get back at Gauthier on offer sheeted Leo Carlsson. This was arguably the biggest move of the free agency that's gone on so far. And Anaheim still has 2 days as of the recording of this podcast episode to respond. But $18 million and 4 first-round picks that Philly has to give up for the next 4 years. So I'll tell how I'm thinking about this first. I think this was a bad idea for Philly, just because I think they're giving up a lot of their future just for one player who isn't necessarily a Celebrini or anything. He's more of a Bedard, like a superstar, but not really a generational player. Philly will definitely be better with Carlson if Anaheim doesn't decide to match it, which I think that they probably won't. But yeah, I just think that's bad for Philly. Like, they should have used their picks and money elsewhere. And not by getting Carlson. That's where $18 million is a lot, and it's obviously the most that any player has made, more than Kaprizov or anybody. But yeah, that's how I feel about it currently. But it definitely will make their team better. How do you feel?
So, couple things. Number one, contracts are nuts because the cap went up. Everybody warned us contracts are going to be nuts. You're going to see some crazy contracts now that the cap is up. And here we are, crazy contracts. And this is not the last one, but this is definitely one of the craziest. When you look at Philly's thought process, like a lot of people, at first, I thought, this is nuts. How are you giving $18 million to Leo Carlsson? He's a great player, but he's not the best player in the league. He should not be the highest paid player. It's a little nuts. But when you look at Philly's $29.5 million over the cap, according to Puckpedia. Philly has 4 key players on ELCs: Martone, Beachcoff, Barkey, and Bump. Bump, okay, maybe not a core player, but you have that many ELCs, it gives you the luxury of overpaying for somebody. And while people are going to say, oh, it's an overpay, it is an overpay. However, I am of the camp where there are certain times in life where you overpay for a guy. Every team has bad contracts. Every team has guys they're overpaying. I don't think the problem is overpaying. I think the key is you have to be strategic in who you overpay. Anybody who's a 30-goal guy or higher, a scorer, a 1C, you can make an argument to overpay those guys. I actually like the move by Philly when I looked at their cap situation. People could say, oh, it's 4 first-round picks. Yeah, that definitely sucks, but you got to figure if they get Carlson, they made the playoffs last year, right? So those picks are probably going to be between 15 and 20. So, and perhaps if Philly is, maybe Philly's good. Maybe they're into the mid-20s. if you look at it like that, it's not as steep of a cost. Philly still has to re-sign Zegras, and he's an RFA, so I don't really know. It'd be funny if Anaheim just offer sheeted him, like just went right back, and brought him back, basically. I'm not really sure what their deal is with Zegras. But, their core, Philly's core is not that great, but like Konechny and Couturier, they're locked up. So they don't really have problems. So I like the move by Philly. And in general, I like offer sheets. Please, more offer sheets. We need a lot more offer sheets. Hey, Matthew Darsh, if you're listening, get rid of some crappy contracts and then offer sheets. From Anaheim's point of view, it's a very interesting thing because they are with Karlsson plus $9 million under the cap. They had a ton of cap space. So really, it's not about cap. It's more about hobbling them going forward with an $18 million contract. However, they have Kreider and Killorn, 6.5 and 6.25 coming off next year. That's 12.75. So really, you're overpaying for Karlsson. But if you get rid of those two guys next year, then maybe you just plug in some cheaper replacements, you can make it work. I think Anaheim could match, and that would be fine. What I think Anaheim should do, they should offer sheet Bedard. I know Bedard is hurt. He's not coming back till November. He hurt himself on July 2nd practicing. So that's really terrible for Chicago. Chicago's like, they're not going to be that good at all. But I think they should offer sheet Bedard because give Bedard, I don't know what the max amount of money is, but if it's like 20 million, 22, but just give him that because you get the 4 first-round picks from Philly and then you give them to Chicago. So the first-round picks are a wash and you're just basically paying $4 million more for your 1C. Now, it's a lot, but I think they should do that. I think Anaheim should either match or offer sheet Bedard. That's what I think they should do. So fascinating. Really great power move by Philly. I think both sides have a good case here. I think Anaheim should match or offer sheet Bedard.
Yeah, well, that would be insane if they offer sheeted Bedard. Yeah, I'm just in the camp. Like, I don't think they're. I think that the 18 million is fine. I mean, obviously you do have a core like Marteau and Brady Martin. You have Konechny up there already, and then if Anaheim does not match, then you will have Karlsson. And Connect. I think that's a good core. I just think that that 4 first-round picks, in a row removes your draft capital and your ability to make moves if you're not going to be trading any of your older players, because I feel like that they've already done that a lot.
Yeah, you gotta make a move. Honestly, like I could see them trading Konechny or Couturier in a couple of years to get out of those contracts. They're not crazy contracts, but they are a little bulky. They're some of their most expensive, and they might need that money when the ELCs come off the books. I don't think it's a problem. I think it's very doable. And the reality is that for teams that don't have 30-goal scorers, it's very hard to get a 30-goal scorer. It just is. And what happens, as we're going to see with all these free agent signings and trades, GMs often gamble on middle six guys like Anthony Mantha, who had a monster year this year, like those guys, the Tyler Toffoli's, right? All these guys where it's like you're gambling on a middle six guy and you're hoping that the guy gives you 20 plus and pushes 30 to fill that void. 30-goal guys are really hard to find. And so you have to overpay. It's just the way it is because, you can use system and structure and be successful, but at the end of the day, you need a 30-goal plus guy scorer. I mean, you just have to. You have to have those guys. If you don't have them, it's almost impossible to win the Stanley Cup. I know Carolina just won the Stanley Cup, and that completely refutes my argument. But in general, you look at the Tampa Bays, the Colorados, you look at the teams that are good. You're going back in time, you look in Chicago and Pittsburgh and all that. You have to have those guys. So I feel like it's necessary. And Philly, really, they just need primarily a goalie. And I'd like to see a 1D, like a top pair defenseman. They add those two guys. But if they add both of those with Karlsson, they're going to improve really fast. And I think Tocchet's a great coach. I think it was a great hire.
Yeah, I think Tocchet's a great coach too. Yeah, I would probably look to trade Couturier maybe. But I'm in the camp of maybe you could have used those 4 first-round picks to get maybe a good goalie or a good defenseman instead of throwing it out like Carlson. But I can see the argument. You think it's fine.
I think the first round picks have to be thought of in the context of you have Leo Carlson, so you're going to be better. So those picks automatically go down. I mean, if they don't have Carlson, they may not make the playoffs. That could be a 12 overall pick, right? I kind of feel like if they have Carlson, they're going to make the playoffs. And so you're probably looking at 15 to 20. If you have 4 picks, 15 to 20, probably 2 to 3 of those guys are going to make the NHL, right? Is that worth a Leo Carlson? It may not. It might not be. Now, you could always package the picks and trade them and move off. It's all this, machinations, stuff like that. But it's interesting. Like when you first hear about it, you think that's nuts. But when you really start to dig, you realize that, it actually makes sense, So interesting stuff. Philly is a very interesting team. They are doing their rebuild very quickly. And Martone looks like a beast. Michkov is, mercurial, but he's talented. Barkey looks like he's a guy. Like they have some guys. So if they re-sign Zegras, they have some forwards, man.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. So Anaheim. Otherwise, Anaheim signed Greer. They signed Judges. They signed a couple of 2-way contracts. They signed Laurent Brossoit. They re-signed them to Yukov, and they had a couple other signatures. So, what would you rate Anaheim's offseason so far? A scale from S to D, S being the best, D being the worst. And is A, B, and C.
Here's the thing with Anaheim. If they don't match, in my opinion, it screws up the timeline because they have a bunch of older guys. They got the guys from the Rangers, Trouba, Kreider, and they were kind of transitioning to the young core. But then they lost Zegras and they got Gauthier, which kind of compensated a little bit. But if they lose Carlson, you have to get rid of the Chris Kreiders of the world, and they got rid of Trouba, right? He's not on the team anymore, or is he still on the team?
I believe he signed.
He signed. Okay, so you have to move on.
No, he signed with the Sharks.
So, yeah, that's right. They moved on for him. So they're going to move on from these older guys, but if you don't have that core and Carlson leads that core, it completely screws up your timeline, and it really sets you back probably 5 years because those first round picks are great, but it's going to set you back 5 years. So I'm going to put it like a C-. I think that's not a good thing. If they match, I'm going to like a C+, but I just think they're in a tough spot either way.
I guess we'll put them in C and probably in the back of C for now. So, okay, next team, the Boston Bruins. So this is a team that did not have many big moves. I can just go over them quickly. They signed a defenseman, Connor Clifton, to a 2-year deal. Otherwise than that, they signed a couple of 2-way contracts, and they signed a goalie and another forward, Jordan Harris.
They got Will Borgen from the Rangers, defenseman. Rangers got a second in 27 and a third in 28.
Yeah, so
this is kind of, my comments are more about the Rangers on this one. I think Boston is kind of a very uneventful free agency offseason.
I mean, they did leave Victor Arvidsson out on the market, and he signed with Detroit, obviously. Andrew Peak. That's kind of it. So we'll put Boston in B tier.
I put it in C tier. I feel like they didn't do anything.
Well, no, whatever. We're gonna put the people that didn't do anything in B tier because they didn't really judge them.
Okay, fine.
Next team we have the Buffalo Sabres. So, do you want to get into these Buffalo Sabres first?
So they lost Tuck, and they had the Bowen Byram trade.
Yeah.
What is Chicago thinking? How are you paying? Do you have the Bowen Byram, the details on that one?
No, I don't.
You look it up, I'll talk. So basically, how do you look at Bowen Byram and think, I know that Bedard needs help. I get it. And, in a lot of ways, if you have a puck-moving offensive defenseman, it can really, supercharge your forwards, like Matthew Schaefer, right? For the Islanders. I get it. Paying him, I believe he's making $12 million a year.
He's making $12.5 million a year.
That's insane.
He's literally making more than McDavid, I think.
I mean, it's absolutely nuts. I don't blame Buffalo. I feel like you have to do that deal. You just have to. They got the 4th overall pick. They drafted another defenseman.
Yeah.
And so you replace the defenseman, but losing Tuck, I think, hurts them. I get that, re-signing him was a challenge. I feel really bad for Buffalo because Buffalo had the momentum. I picked Buffalo to win the Stanley Cup simply for the feels. I thought it'd be a feel-good story. Also, we're New Yorkers. It's a New York State team. I feel really bad for them. I feel like this is really going to set them back. And it's not a good thing what happened to Buffalo. So I would rate them low on the free agency because of that.
Yeah. Von Bauer, just show the details. He's age 25. He is making 6.25 currently, and he's going to make 12.5 at his next cap there.
So the whole idea of like overpaying for 30 goal guys, I stick by that. Overpaying for puck moving offensive defensemen, it seems to me that puck moving offensive defensemen are a dime a dozen. Now listen, relatively speaking, some are better than others, but you have like Jackson Lacombe and Brant Clark and Mo Sider and Lane Hudson, and you have like all these guys. I mean, hell, even the Islanders have Tony DeAngelo, who's not great, but he's pretty serviceable and he's cheap. You're not paying him $12 million. And you put Tony DeAngelo on Chicago, he can create some plays and create some offense. It seems to me they could have found somebody else. I would have much rather seen them take that money and put it to a goalie or a forward. I don't think they should have paid for and given up the 4th pick. I don't like it at all. I don't like Chicago's move at all. But Buffalo, I just kind of feel bad because they got raided.
Yeah, me neither. Me too. Me too. Buffalo. They also did some other stuff. They signed Owen Zellweger to a 3-year contract and a couple of 2-way contracts. I think they also something else to note is that they also they let Peyton Krebs go and a couple minor people like David Kampf, Tanner Pearson, Luke Shen, and Josh Dunn.
I like the Zellweger signing. A poor man's Bo Byron. That's fine. You replace him, and then you got another guy in the draft. I like that a lot. I'd put them at like a B-. I kind of feel like the Tuck thing, they just didn't have the money for him, so they were stuck. But so it wasn't like they screwed up, but it's just unfortunate how it worked out for them, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so where would you rate Buffalo?
I'll give a B-.
Okay, I'll put him below Boston.
Yeah, I think Buffalo definitely got worse. Boston seemed like there was just nothing.
Okay. Now we're moving on to another big one, Calgary. So Calgary, they had one big signing. I thought that they just signed some 2-way contracts, but the big one was Simon Nemec, who was a player. He adopted very high in the 2022 draft, but he hasn't really panned out, for the Devils. So he signed a 5-year, $36 million contract with the Flames. Do you want to talk about that?
I love this deal. New Jersey is a dysfunctional franchise, and they're not quite Vancouver, but they should be better than what they are. I know Jack Hughes gets hurt a lot. Luke Hughes has not really been the guy that they thought he would be. Nemec, I think, has a lot of potential, and I think that he was struggling on a bad team. Now, unfortunately, he's going to Calgary, and they're one of the worst teams. So it's not like that's getting better, but I like that signing a lot. I think 7.25 AAV is very reasonable, and I love what Calgary is doing. So basically, a lot of people think that when you build a team, you should build from the goalie out. So goalie first, then defenseman, then forwards. And they are loading up on defensemen, and you're going to be competitive. You may not score a lot of goals, but you're going to be competitive, and you're going to build that foundation. They have Dustin Wolf. He's a great. Yeah. I mean, he's a real up and coming guy who could.
Dustin Wolf. They have Nemec now, and I have Parak. Even though Parak had a bad year, but they have Jet Luchenko. They have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
coming out.
You just get a couple forwards and they might actually turn it around. So I love this signing. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Nemec only had 26 points in 68 games. So you could say, well, I'm going to chalk that up to playing on New Jersey. And New Jersey's just, they're a mess. I don't know. I mean, they're in the Metro. We watch them. Every time I see them, I just think they should be better and they're not. So we'll see what happens. I could be proven wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes like a 40, 45 point guy, even on Calgary. And then they're going to be really loving that deal.
Yeah, and another thing is that Philly, not necessarily, Calgary also has a lot of first round picks, so they've stacked up. So I think they can accumulate prospects pretty quick as well. So I think there'll be a team
I think
looking to come up.
during the draft, I think they said that Calgary's never had a first overall pick. Is that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That's nuts. That's crazy to me. And that's really unfortunate for the fans because having the first overall is really exciting. So that's really crazy. But, you don't want to be in the middle. You don't want to be in the mushy middle. You got to stink sometimes and just bomb and get that first overall. So,
Yeah.
all right, who's next?
Okay, so the next, where would you rate Calgary?
I'll put him like an A-. I think it's a good deal.
Okay, we'll put him in a tier.
Yeah.
Next team, Carolina. Carolina did not do a whole lot except for like letting Freddie Anderson go, John Carlson, Meg Riley, Joshua Slavin.
Wait, who?
Carolina.
What's the last name?
Josiah Slavin.
I never heard of that guy. Slavin, I'm thinking Jacob Slavin. It's not him though.
It's not Jake.
He's still there.
Noah Gunler, and a couple other people. Yeah, that's really all they did.
So I'm going to give Carolina an A for the simple reason that when you're the Cup champs, it's very hard to keep a team together. And a lot of times guys want more money because they won the Cup or what have you. And they seem to have kept their core together. By the way, the Taylor Hall, getting Taylor Hall, I think was a great move for them. I thought he was really good on Boston. Like if you have Taylor Hall on a third line, I think it's an amazing fit. He is talented enough where he can really be productive on a third line. I don't see him as a top six guy, maybe a second line guy, but like for the Islanders, he probably play top line. But, and I think he did really well in the playoffs. It was a great pickup by Carolina. I'm going to give Carolina an A simply because they kept the team together and, they're going to be super competitive next year. They're not going to fall off at all. So that's what, and Freddie Anderson, yeah, I get it. He left, but I think Bussy's the guy. And that is pretty clear. And the reality is that you can't have two number one goalies. I mean, you want to have two really good goalies. It's not a league where you only have one starter, but keeping two number one goalies is tough. So I get that he left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's really all I did.
That's fine. I mean, you're the Cup champs. All you have to do is keep it together.
Yeah. Next team, Chicago. Wow. Okay, so first of all, they signed a couple of two-way contracts. But I feel like we have to talk about Byram and also the fact that Connor Bedard, who might get him. So yeah, let's get into this now. So they let a lot of prospects go restricted free agents. Bedard, and Ethan Del Mastro and Korchinski. And they also let go of Jerry Anderson, Matt Grzelcyk, Sam Lafferty, Ilya Mikheyev, and Shea Weber, who has been retired. But I think the main thing is the Bowen Byram thing. So do you want to type of that first?
I kind of feel like we already touched on it. I think Chicago's a mess. I think the Bo Byram deal is a desperate deal. Desperation. They are desperate. This franchise is a mess. And it's really interesting because in the 2010s, they were the premier franchise. And the sexual assault stuff that came out, and they never really recovered. And then on the ice, they just never got Bedard any help. Nazar is a nice player. But then they, Teravainen and who's the other guy to sign? They signed Toffoli, or they signed one of those guys?
They signed
Toffoli, right?
No, they didn't sign it. It was in the Sharks.
But who did they have? They had one of those guys on their team.
They had Taylor Hall.
They had Taylor Hall. They had a few guys like that. They're like Tyler Toffoli and Victor Arvidsson are like the Chell guys. They're like the guys that are like Anthony Duclair. They're a new team every year. I would put this as a D. I think this is a horrible signing. Draft a guy with the number 4 pick. I mean, you're talking about if you draft a guy with the number 4 pick, he's going to be in the league in 2 years probably, right? So it's not that long to wait. And to give up all that sign bonus is a terrible contract. D, Chicago. And their franchise is a mess, like a complete mess.
Our first deal of the video.
Yeah, I don't like that deal at all.
If you have to have gone S. Okay.
And by the way, if Bedard's hurt until October, I can't wait for Bo Byron to have like 7 points in the first 20 games and everyone, or like the first 25 games, and everyone's going to be calling him a bust.
Okay, Colorado next. They did not really do a whole much. They signed a couple a 2-way contracts or 2-year deals. They signed Jaden Schwartz from Seattle. That's probably their biggest signing. Yeah, they did not do a whole lot. They let a lot of people go, but those are just I think a lot of them are bottom 6 people. Joe Kiviranta is probably the most notable person. But yeah, they did not do a whole too much, so we'll be putting them in B tier, I think, because nothing notable.
Who left the team? There was a guy who left Colorado. That was pretty good.
The only person I see here is Baby and Lysell and Kiviranta.
All right, so they didn't really do anything. So whatever the tier is of people that really didn't do anything, they're in that.
Yeah, B tier.
Colorado is basically like, they're just going to run it back, tinker with the bottom 6, and then hope that the big dogs can carry them to the cup. I think that's really their whole plan. And it worked until it didn't work against Vegas. They look like a wagon up until...
Yeah, I mean, if those guys weren't injured, then, you know...
I think Makar was really hurt, and I think McKinnon was hurt too. But Makar, like, he was really hurt. He was not playing well at the end there. He missed some time and all that.
Yeah. Another team that did not do much, Columbus. They signed a couple deals. They signed Owen Sillinger. They signed Goodbranson, Eric Goodbranson.
They're in the bucket of teams that didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's really all they did. We'll see
Columbus.
We'll see what happened with Fantilli, because he's a restricted free agent. Jet Greaves, Cole Sillinger, and Luke Tucker also restricted free agents, and Zach Aston Reese is probably the only notable person they've left unrestricted. Yeah, it's really big.
Columbus is a hopeless franchise. I hate to say it because the Islanders were like that in the 90s. I get it. They're just hopeless. They never recovered from the Gaudreau thing. It was terrible. It was really bad. They had some mojo and some hype when Kekalainen signed Gaudreau, and they just never recovered. I feel really bad for their fans. They're really good people, good fans. And I don't know how they fixed that. I mean, Werenski was going, and then he's not. I'm happy that he's not going.
Yeah, Werenski is resigned, but Boone Jenner also and Mason Marchment, and they're also gone.
And Boone Jenner was the heart of that team. I mean, he was just the pulse. That sucks for those fans. I feel really Columbus fans, if you're listening, I feel bad for you guys. That really stinks.
Yeah, it's not good.
Nasher's not happy right now. No.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Okay. Columbus was. I mean, they
nothing. They're the nothing.
Like, that was worse, but
yeah,
they got worse. But we'll just put them in B tier because
I put them in C tier. Like, who's the? What's the tier for people that didn't do anything? B.
Yeah, B is for people that didn't do anything.
Rating on a 5.
I think Columbus got worse, so put them in C.
Fair. All right. Who's next?
Dallas.
What were their moves?
Let's see what happened. With Robertson, obviously a restricted free agent.
So he's going to arbitration. So he wants his money. He rejected some trades. He rejected a trade to Seattle. They were going to really pay him.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know. I haven't listened to any podcasts or anything to hear about what his deal is, but he wants to get paid, and he is very picky about where he's going. So apparently he rejected all these trades and going to arbitration. I wonder what he's going to get. I mean,
Yeah.
I could see like 15, something like that. I could see something like that.
Let's Maverick Bork signed with Nashville. Not a whole lot here. They re-signed Jimmy Benn. And Michael Bunting is going to the market. We'll see who signs him. And yeah, they re-signed Kiviranta. And yeah, it's really it. So I'll put them in D tier.
I like the Ben contract. It's cheap. Anders Lee, you should take note. You know, when you have guys who have been longtime members of the team, take a hometown discount, please, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, they still have Robertson, so we're not going to adopt them for that, I don't think. Next team, Detroit. Yeah, they did a little bit. They signed Arvidsson to a 2-year contract. Simon Edvinsson is a restricted free agent currently. Yeah, another Eric Gustafsson is signed with Los Angeles. We'll get to that later, I think. And Patrick Kane is an unrestricted free agent. Cam Talbot, David Perron, Jan Van Riemsdyk. Yeah, the list is actually pretty long. Travis Hamonic. But yeah, we'll see what happens with those because only Eric Gustafsson has been signed by a team out of all of them. And yeah, it's kind of they signed Tarasov. Yeah,
I think with Detroit, it has to come down to the Larkin stuff. You have a guy who's born in Michigan. I believe he went to college in Michigan, but I could be wrong about that.
I think he did.
He's on the Red Wings, Michigan team. He wants out. He's your captain. He wants out. There is something wrong with that locker room and that team. If
Yeah,
you're
the
captain,
other plan is not working.
yeah, I mean, that to me, and I know Yzerman came out and said he's got a lot of term and, you know, they're going to see what they can do, but they're not in any rush to trade him. I think it's really smart because we see these trades like, I don't know, Brady Tkachuk, where they're just dumping, or like Panarin is really, you know, when it comes to my mind of guy wants to get traded, so you trade him for nothing. I know Panarin was a, you know, UFA, and so they had less leverage and stuff like that, but I like that Yzerman is not feeling like he's forced to move him. But this, to me, signals deeper problems with the team if your captain is demanding a trade, like in Ottawa. So I would put them lower because of that. It's not about free agency or the transactions so much, but there's a big problem. And Detroit, oh boy, they are going to... their window's closing, and then their young players like Mo Seider or something like that, you know.
Yeah, it's like
Raymond.
gonna be only Mo Seider and like Raymond because yeah, they had this kind of young core with Edmonton, but I feel like they have 3 different cores. They have the Larkin, then they have like Seider and Raymond, and then they have the Edmonton one. But they really don't have a lot of prospects because they are keeping a fringe playoff team. So yeah. We'll see if Yzerman will get fired here.
But I'm going to put the Larkin stuff's going to lead me to put this team into the C tier. That's what I...
Okay, love you in C tier.
Yeah. I mean, I could be swayed for a D tier. The Larkin thing is really disturbing to me.
Yeah. Our next team is Edmonton. Yeah, so they did not really do much except for getting Anderson.
They got Madulin.
Yeah, they got that guy. They got Kapanen, and they got Anderson. That's by the big signing. This and the Bobrovsky deal with Toronto. I mean, it's a good try at getting a goalie because both teams have not had a goalie for so long, and they're just wasting their core players on it. Matthews and McDavid and Draisaitl. Yeah, isn't there? At least they're doing something about it now that seems like it could work. Both of those.
I don't mind the Anderson deal. 1 year, 2.8. You take a flyer on him. I don't really think he's a good goalie, and I think that his success is due to the Carolina system. However, it's fine. Try it out. And the bottom line is that Jari is just awful, and Stu Skinner was awful. I know, they had limited success and all that, but I didn't like either one of those guys. So I would much rather go with Anderson. I think the problem with Edmonton is Mike Babcock. That was a terrible, terrible signing. Terrible. How do you screw up a franchise that badly? I mean, I would like a Peter Laviolette. I think that would have been a good signing for them, for the coach. Pete DeBoer, they really should have gone after him. That would have been my number one. But I like the Anderson signing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Defenseman, 2 years, 3.5. That's fine. It's better than, them overpaying in the past. So that's fine.
Yeah, I think the thing with Anderson is that he's kind of already peaked. He played Toronto, Anaheim, this probably his best years, and he goes to Carolina. He was good in his first couple of seasons, but then he kind of fell off towards the end here. But he also played limited games. But yeah, I think, just give it a shot. See if it works. He did have success with Toronto, ends up being a good goalie in Anaheim, so maybe.
It's a 1 year deal. Maybe you could even trade him at the deadline if it doesn't work out. It's not a big deal. It's more the long term. What are they going to do long term?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and really everything. Okay, so where do you want to put Edmonton?
B, they're fine.
There you go. B tier.
The Babcock thing, if we're going to include that as part of this whole thing, I'm moving them down to a D. That's just me. If we're including the coach, I'm putting him down to a terrible high.
I think we're actually including, I think we should include
I'm putting him as a D then. That guy got signed by Columbus and never coached the team. Why would you hire a guy like that? It doesn't make any sense.
There have to be better options there.
Oh my God, there have to be better options, man. Who's next?
It can't just be Bruce Cassidy and then you're done. Your next team, Florida. We have to get into this stuff. So, Brady Tkachuk joins his brother Matthew in Florida. And you can talk about this because you had a lot of insight on this when we were talking about it ourselves, and then I'll add on to it.
This is an amazing move by Florida. I love it. Florida is going to be our first A-tier team. You're giving up 2 firsts in 2026, a second in 2027, and a first in 2029. Absolutely, 100%. He's a 30-goal scorer, but more to the point, he is exactly the kind of player they want. They like those sandpaper guys, those guys that are gritty, that fight, that hit. They have a million of those guys. I can't even imagine what it's like to play Florida. It's got to be hell because every single guy's coming at you. You look at Florida's top 9 now that they have Brady. Their top 9 are Matthew and Brady, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Marchand, Bennett, Luosterainen, and either Greer or Rodriguez. Pick your guy. That's insane. That's an insane top 9. Forwards. Are you kidding me? All of those guys are so gritty and so tough to play against. It's a perfect fit for their team. It's just amazing. And it's kind of bothers me that they always get these. Florida always manages to get these guys. Amazing. In terms of Ottawa, I think that Canadian people need to understand how much the gold medal meant to Americans. And when you have your star players returning to your Canadian teams, when you treat them like crap, it really hurts, especially when they're seeing the reception that the American players got. It's no coincidence that Brady left. Hellebuck has been talked about as maybe leaving. I know Winnipeg signed a goalie, but they said it's not because Hellebuck's leaving. There's rumors that Austin Matthews is going to leave Toronto. I'm not really sure how credible they are, but where there's smoke, there's fire. These American players are not happy being on Canadian teams and being treated like crap. The reality is that if Bo Horvat, if Canada won the gold, the Islander fans would have given Bo Horvat a standing ovation. They would have praised him. I'm very confident about that. We would not have been petty about it because we love our players and they're not feeling the love. I don't blame. I know Brady's it's like Dylan Larkin. I just went off on this whole thing about how Detroit's got problems. Ottawa definitely has problems, but I really don't blame Brady for wanting to leave. And I really don't blame him for wanting to play with his brother. And I don't blame him for wanting to play in Miami. Who wants to live in Ottawa? People don't understand. Canadians don't understand that Canadian cities are inhospitable. Nobody wants to live in Edmonton or Calgary or Winnipeg or Ottawa. I'm sorry, they just don't. It's freezing cold all the time. There's nothing to do. As opposed to South Beach, Miami, one of the hottest cities in the world, of course, they want to go there. Great move by Florida, but they always make great moves. I'm not surprised. They are an immediate cup contender next year. I would not at all be surprised if they win the cup next year. So now they have a big hole at goalie that they have to fill. So that's the issue. So who is their goalie now?
I honestly don't know. I think they're going to have to trade for someone.
They don't have Lyon, right? They don't have
because they traded all the.
They traded all the guys, and then Bob just left. Bob was like, "Peace out, I'm out of here." So that's really the problem. However, I feel like they could find a guy. I don't really think it's at the end of the world.
Yeah, currently for goalie they have not much.
What's the alternative?
I feel like Bob should have stayed, but yeah, they have a couple of 29-year-olds that are making the league men. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I think for now, Florida should be our first S tier, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have liked them sign Bob, but 3 years, I think he's making $7 per year. He's 37. That's tough. I get why they didn't do it. And also, he did have some bad seasons in that really huge contract that he signed. People kind of forget about it because he won the cups, but there was a time where people were saying that contract was atrocious, like $10 million. I think he got it from Columbus, that he moved over.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's been lights out the entire time. He's not Shesterkin. He's not Vasilevsky. So I like what Florida did. And I just think it's really cool that the brothers get to play with each other and, they're going to be fired up.
Yeah. Yeah, so Simon Gudis is on stuff.
Oh, they got Gudis back, right? Yeah, that's again, it's such a goon, like a borderline dirty guy. They have a million of those guys. The perfect guy for them.
Yeah. Now we move on to the LA Kings. They didn't really do much. They signed Scott Laughton. They signed Perunovic, Laughton to a 3-year contract. And yeah, they let a lot of guys go, but Anze Kopitar retired. It's big. Andrei Kuzmenko signed with Pittsburgh. We'll get to that later. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of they signed Zuccarello, Gustafsson, and Perry and Hala to 1-year deals. All the people, but Zuccarello is still really good. Perry too. What do you have to say about this team?
A lot of times in free agency, it's not about the splashy move. It's not the Mitch Marner signing. It's more just, like in chess, to say making improving moves. She's kind of like making little moves to improve a team. Zuccarello, a great signing. 1 year, $1 million point a game guy, almost last year. Of course, sign me up. They re-signed Brant Clark too.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I like what they did. I think that's fine. Sometimes in free agency, you just don't want to lose guys, right? So you don't want to have a big L. So just, few things, make your team better. I think they're fine. I'd put them in the B tier. I don't know where you want to put them. I just think they have some trouble in the playoffs getting out of that conference because they're getting hit with these first round. It's Colorado, it's Edmonton. Like, how are you going to deal with that? That's a really tough first round.
Yeah. I put LA, high B. I put them above Boston, so they didn't really do anything.
It is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, now Minnesota, who lost Zuccarello. Yeah, so they didn't really do anything in terms of signings. They're going to send out some Shabanoff from the Islanders. We're not going to talk about that. Nick Foligno they signed. That was really it.
What did Shabanoff get?
Shabanoff, I think he got 1.6 he got.
Season. That's it. Listen, I'm a big Shabanoff fan. I think he has talent. He did not really get a good shot with the Islanders.
Yeah, I'm not a big Darsh fan right now.
I think he's a good third line guy. His peak would be second line wing, and I think there's something there. I think that's a great signing. I think with Minnesota, their whole thing was the Quinn Hughes thing last year. So that was their big splash. So they're really doing anything now. I think they're fine. Zuccarello, are they still paying him? I don't know what the deal is with that.
I don't know.
That kind of stinks when you're still paying a guy who's not even on your team anymore. But they're fine. That was a tough series in the playoffs, but they're right out there, so they're fine.
Yeah. Other than that, they re-signed Zach Bogosian, Robbie Fabry. They let go. He's currently in the market right now. Jeff Petrie, Tarasenko. They're still on the market. Nick Abe Kubel. That's a name that you forgot. Huh. Wow. Yeah, he's in the market right now.
They're just not going to make any big moves. They have Kaprizov and Boldy and Hughes and Faber. Like they have their guys.
Yes.
Like so that's just just like little minor moves here.
Yeah, they'll go in B tier. Didn't win. Yeah, it's fine. Montreal, next team, another team that didn't really do anything. That re-signed people to deals. They let with Bolduc, Jack Eye, Kirby Doc. They're in the market right now. It's probably there.
Wait, Jack Eye's on the market?
Yeah,
He's a free agent?
no restricted. I'm saying.
Oh, he's an RFA.
Yeah, RFA is
Okay.
right there.
So he's not on the market.
Yeah.
It is okay, all right.
For unrestricted line on the person really.
What did Line do last year, stat wise? You have that?
Line I can look it up.
I think Montreal is fine. Like they don't really have to do anything. They're very young. They are scary. I was saying all of last year that what their ceiling is higher than almost anyone's ceiling. When all those guys are playing well, they scare the hell out of me.
Do you remember Line was hurt, so he only had 1 assist in 5 games, but he was hurt.
He was hurt the whole year?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that was Montreal. Most put them in B tier because they didn't really do anything.
Yeah, like I don't really think they're so young. They don't really need to do anything.
Yeah.
I just think they need to develop. I mean, they kind of have everything they need there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't know. You could always add, you can always add stuff, but I don't really see like a screaming hole in Montreal's lineup here.
Yeah.
So
Nashville, the team, they signed Kerfoot. That's really it for the signings. And Eric Hollow signed with LA. That's really the only reason that they let walk is something does Nashville doesn't really do much. B tier.
they still have Stamkos, huh?
Yeah, they do.
They should have traded him when he went on that heater.
Yeah, they really should.
He had like 10 goals in 12 games or something like that. They should have traded him. That was a terrible signing. Like they're B tier for this offseason, but I just think in general they're a mess. Like there's no direction. They always make a lot of moves and it never really works, you know?
Yeah, Barry Trotz is a bad GM. Really good coach, but a bad GM.
It wasn't. Yeah, he's not transitioning out. Like they're looking for a new GM.
Yeah, they're looking for a new one.
So
yeah, and he tried to sign all these guys after they made that first round run, but it really just did not work.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. They are
the reasons that you'll find in.
They're in the bucket of Calgary and Chicago and Ottawa.
Yeah, there's
a mess, and Detroit. Like these franchises are a mess.
Yeah. Now time for another mess franchise, I guess, New Jersey. I mean, they didn't really do anything in terms of offseason. They signed Riddick from the Islanders.
I look forward to playing against them next year.
Yeah, they also got Dennis Cholowski, though.
Isles legend.
Sure, that's really important. They let Evgeny Dadonov go, but that's really it. Except for Simon Nemec, obviously. That he was traded, I believe, to Kutik, I believe. So, yeah.
So I'm going to put them either a C or a D. Not because of what they did, but because of what they didn't do. In my opinion, they needed to do something. The Metro, Carolina won the Cup. Philly got a lot better. The Rangers got Dorofeyev. They got better. Washington got better. Pittsburgh signed some guys. What is New Jersey doing? Nothing. They are wasting Jack Hughes' prime. And so I think they're a team that needed to do something. And I ain't talking about teams don't really need to do much. They needed to do something. They need to make a splash. They didn't do it. And so I would put them low.
Yeah, I mean, they were so promising in like 2023, and they beat the Rangers, all of that, but they really, like, Jack Hughes has been hurt, and they've slowly been getting rid of some of that huge core in 2023 that they had. Really disappointing for New Jersey after racing.
What
As you said,
I think the biggest red flag for New Jersey is that they had Wedgwood and Blackwood on the team at one point. Both of those guys are in Colorado, and Wedgwood had an amazing year. They both had good years. The fact that they both are on a different team and had great years, it speaks to the fact that the team's not good. And I don't really see how they come out from under this. I think they're in a lot of trouble. Nemec was he a free agent, or did they trade him?
I believe they traded him away. Yeah.
So what did they get back for him? Probably not much, because he didn't really have a great season. And he may not be that good, but I don't like the fact that they lost him. And then Dougie Hamilton, they were trying to move him. Is he still on the team?
Nemec was acquired and a trade with Siplikov for conditional first-round picks in 2027, 2028 draft, second-round pick in the 2026 draft, and a defenseman prospect, Etienne Morin.
Okay, they actually got...
Both picks are top 10 protected.
They got a decent haul back, actually. However, again, you're wasting Jack Hughes' prime. Jack Hughes doesn't care about first-round picks. You know what I'm saying? He wants to win now. And that's terrible. So yeah, I'd put them low. I'd put them as a C.
Yeah.
Or a D. I don't know. Probably a C, because they got those first-round picks back, but...
Yeah, I'll do.
How about we trade Jack Hughes to the Islanders, and because he's not doing anything in New Jersey, let him go across the river, man. Come on.
Speaking of the Islanders, we're doing the Islanders next. They didn't really do much. They signed Matias Nicheli and Vanacek to replace Riddick. That's really it. They let Alda Jeffries walk. We let Henrik Tegan does the market too. And yeah, we have that Adam Boquist tested in the market. Hogberg, we obviously signed, and Rick signed. Susie is in the market right now. Yeah, that's really it.
I think that, again, it's like a nothing free agency or off season. So they're in the bucket of people that really didn't do anything. They screwed up last year at the trade deadline. So that's really where they made their mistake. So if we were counting all of that, I'd give them a D. But we're not counting that because that was last year. But let it be known that they screwed up royally. That was terrible. So
Tarsh is horrible.
I mean, Andre Palat, not to go over this again, but my goodness, there is no reason under the sun. It's indefensible to trade for him. They didn't even sign him as a free agent, which you could think, okay, maybe they traded for him. They actually gave up assets in order to get him. Oh boy. Nothing. They didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing you could say is that they didn't give away one of their prospects. But the fact that they didn't even have more prospects or picks.
And they also didn't sign Jeffries or Tikkanen yet, so that's awesome.
Jeffries hurts because he was supposed to be a guy.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a million guys in the AHL that just never panned out. It's really depressing. So
yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Now the Rangers signed Bjorkstrand 1-year deal, Veleno 1-year deal. That's really it.
Dorofeev.
Oh yeah, Dorofeev. We need to get to that. Before I do that, Jonathan Quick retired. No one else. Let's talk about Dorofeev.
Amazing. I mean, this is up there with the Florida trade. Amazing. Absolutely unbelievable. Great signing by the Rangers. The Rangers always get these guys. Always. They always get the free agent guys. And it's a little maddening, but that was a great signing. And, they're giving him 11 by 7. People say it's an overpay. Again, it goes back to you overpay for 30-goal guys. That's fine. I don't really think he's going to have as good of a year because he's really all by himself. No Churchak, no Panarin. You got Zibanejad, Fox. That's about it. But that is a great signing. And that really energizes their franchise and it gives them some sort of hope. So A for them. And they didn't really give up much for him.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was great for them. They also they got Marcus Pettersson. They gave up a first round pick in 2030 to Vancouver.
Yeah.
That seemed like a little much. The Rangers are mismanaging their defense, and I don't really understand what's going on. Like they let Trouba and Miller go.
Fury is just a mess.
Miller won the cup. Trouba is a very, he's a solid player, very serviceable, has strengths and good qualities. And then they got rid of Borgen. I don't know. I don't really follow. I don't really know what's going on with him, but it's like they're just keep swapping defensemen in and out, and I don't like it. I like the D-core to be solid and to be there year after year to really build some chemistry. So that's my concern. But Shesterkin can make a lot of defensive mistakes go away. So I love their offseason. I think it's great.
Yeah. Next is Ottawa. Didn't really do anything. They signed Drew 1-year contract again. Lars Eller signed Florida. Claude Giroux signed. I don't know how to say that. Reimer is testing the market. That's really it for Ottawa.
I mean, it's a D. It's a D because they lost their 30-goal squad.
Oh yeah.
That's really the whole thing. I like the Giroux signing. That's great. 1 year, $2 million. He had he's like a half a point a game guy. Veteran, solid. That's great. That's a great signing. But Brady is like, that sets their franchise back. Poor Timmy Stützle. He's going to be doing it all by himself. That's terrible. That's a dagger in the franchise. That is going to set them back for years. So they are a D. I put them as a D.
Then we got Philly. I feel like we've already talked about Carlson, so I feel like we don't have to go into the debate here. Aside from that, they didn't really do anything. I mean, it makes sense. They signed Aston Reese. Really it. As per restricted free agents, Jamie Drysdale and Zegras, obviously, they have, and Oscar Eckley and Carl Glenn, not really anyone in the unrestricted free agents. So yeah, aside from Carlson,
I'm gonna assume they re-signed Zegras, and I'm gonna give them an A. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Carlson may not work out, but they took a shot, and he's gonna be productive. So it's not like he's gonna be a bust. It's more like does he score 35 or 25, and but Zegras, Carlson, and then the rest of their top guys, Michkov, Martone, Barkey. I like it. I like it a lot. Konechny, Couture. I like it. I give him an A.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is next. They're a bigger one. So their big signings, they signed Kuzmenko to a 1-year deal worth $5 million. Kuzmenko kind of fell off, not gonna lie. And they signed Harry Ramines. Like outside of that, didn't really do anything. They
Chinikov.
Chinikov. Anthony Mantha's testing the market. Brian Shea got signed. Skinner got signed, obviously. That's really it for restricted free agents. There isn't really anyone.
Yeah, it's
who we signed, really.
So to me, it seems like Chinikov and Kuzmenko are desperation signings. It's just Mantha, I believe he had 30 goals last year, and replacing him is going to be tough. I don't like $11.75 million on two guys that, Chinikov is, 21, 42, half a point a game guy, 20 goal guy. Kuzmenko really has done nothing for the last, for the last 4 years. I don't like these signings. I just think it's like, I get it. You got Crosby, you got Malkin. You're trying to give them somebody. It's desperation. I don't like it. So I give them a C, actually. I really don't like these signings at all.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Kuzmenko. San Jose, they signed Trouba to a 4-year deal, Marchman to a 5-year deal. Outside of that, really, I don't think they kind of, they signed, Lauren Bosball got signed by Anaheim, obviously. Lucas Carlson went to Sweden. It's really it. Mario Ferraro went to Winnipeg. Nick Leddy testing the market. And yeah, Ryan Reeves is also testing the market. It's really it. Put them in B tier.
I like the Trouba signing. I get what they're doing, and everything they're doing makes sense in terms of bolstering the defense because they have all these forwards. I love what San Jose's doing. I think they are the model franchise when it comes to how to do a rebuild. And they didn't really do much this off season. They didn't really have to. They also had, first round picks, stuff like that. So I give them an A. I think it's fine. I really like the Trouba signing. I think it's a great signing. And I just think they didn't screw it up. Just don't screw it up. Just don't get in the way. Let the kids develop. Perfect.
Okay.
They lost Mukamadulin. Everyone loved that guy. Their fans love that guy. I don't know what that's all about, like in terms of their morale. Like I know the fans are really big on him, but A.
Yeah. Seattle didn't really do anything. They signed this Skanaskevich, 2 or 3 year contract. That's really it. Jimmy Alexiak was signed by Vancouver. Gustav Olofsson was testing the market, and Tolvin is also testing the market.
It's tough. I mean, there's such a new franchise that you sit here, like they're really not doing anything. They're kind of just stuck. Beniers and Wright just really are not panning out, and it's unfortunate. What?
Yeah.
But I don't really think they did anything bad. They tried to get Robertson, and Robertson said no. So what are you going to do? There really wasn't much out there. You just put them in the tier of teams really didn't do much. I just kind of think that their warning light is flashing because, they had the playoff, the first round win, but they really haven't had anything. I know they're a new franchise. Give them some time. But I'm a little concerned about Seattle.
Yeah, I'll give them some time, but Vegas also made it to the final in their first season and won a cup and made it to a cup final recently. So, they're only 3 years older. That's just what I'm going to say. Otherwise, we didn't do much. St. Louis. Julian Gauthier is testing the market. That's really it. Well, we can move on.
The Kyrou trade, I think, was good for St. Louis. I think they made some smart trades getting rid of Shen and Kyrou. They needed to do that. It's unfortunate, but they won a cup in 2019, so they had their cup.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. It's going to take some time.
Yeah. Big one here. Tampa Bay. I'll just go over outside of Carlson quickly. Corey Perry went. It's really it. Bjork Fearing went. Yeah. But let's get to Carlson here. So Carlson's on the 2-year contract with Lightning. And his AAV is 8.5 million. Let's get into this.
They're replacing Radish.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think of this. You have the guy who's a veteran who's on the decline but still productive versus the guy who had this breakout season who may not be able to replicate it. That's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's a good signing. It might be a little expensive, but again, crazy contract season. So I think Tampa Bay manages assets very well, and I think it's a good signing for them.
Yeah.
I think Hedman, I know Hedman missed some of the playoffs, but he might have missed some of the regular season too. So to the extent that, I could be wrong about that, but to the extent that he doesn't play 82, Carlson could step in there. I think it's a good sign.
Yeah. Did you put Tampa in B tier?
Yeah.
Okay, B tier.
Because they lost Radish, so it's not like they really added and got better, but I don't really think, I wouldn't have paid Radish all that money because I think he was benefiting from Kucherov there.
Yeah. There's another one, Toronto. Obviously Bobrovsky. Outside that, Bluger, Sissons, Roslovic. They send them 2-year contracts. Yeah, Bobrovsky. I'm for take the shot. I mean, he hasn't had a good goalie since Freddie Anderson, really. So, I mean, you might as well try it.
So they lost Wall, right? And they got Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
goalies, you got to roll the dice sometimes. There are only a handful of goalies that are like money and rock solid, and you know they're going to be good. The Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Sorokin, those guys.
Yeah.
I like it. Just, they needed a goalie. I think this move was, 3-4 years too late, but better late than never. So yeah, go for it. See what happens.
Yeah.
And of course, they had the number 1 overall pick, so they got Gavin McGee.
Yeah.
That's great. That's exciting.
Yeah. More of his replacement, better. Yeah, to have that Nicholas Robertson rocked. Nothing really there. Where'd you put Toronto? Do you think?
I think it's like a B+. I like what they did. I'm not ready to call it an A.
We'll put them high B.
If they got Hellebuck or something, that would be an A+. But yeah, no, it's
I put them high B. Utah Mammoth, they didn't really do anything outside of the Lee signing. Lee signs a 3-year contract. As we were touching on earlier,
they lost Peterka, I believe.
Oh yeah, they lost Peterka at the draft.
Where did Peterka go? I forget.
When was it? I think we CJ Peterka.
I like the Lee signing. I don't know what their cap is off the top of my head, but that's just solid leadership and a guy who's probably going to score 20+ goals, up front. That's a good signing. A lot of term, but you know what? It's a 3-year contract, so maybe you move him after the second year or something.
Yeah.
Or even definitely expiring deal. Maybe you can move him. I don't know. He's going to be old then, but we'll see what happens.
Boston acquired Peterka.
Oh, could we move Boston up then? That's a mistake on my part. We're gonna bump Boston up. Where do we put them, in B?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them like B+. I really like that move for them.
I will put them at top with B.
Yeah. I could be convinced to give them an A for that. I really like that. I was really unhappy with Utah getting rid of Peterka. I didn't seem to make any sense to me. I know he didn't have a great year, but I like him as a player.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't really do anything. Scott Brnovich, Kerfoot, Vanacek, they walked, but yeah, that's really it. So do you want to put Utah in, I don't know,
they didn't really do anything. I put them at B. I like the Tia did endures.
B.
Really.
Vancouver. Vancouver didn't really. I mean, they got Shen, they got Alexiak. It's really it.
I'm not even gonna waste a lot of time talking about Vancouver.
Kane testing workout yet.
They just
B2 or whatever.
Nothing. Yeah, if they're a whatever franchise.
Yeah. Vegas, they had a ton of really minor signings. I'm not gonna really get into those. I mean, Anderson Lazan signed with Vegas again, so that's good for them. Yeah, it's just
they lost Orfeev, and I think that was probably inevitable.
Yeah.
So I think you got to drop down to a C just for that, because you just lost a 30-goal guy.
Yeah, it's not like it's not Carolina because you didn't win the cup, but yeah.
I'm not worried about them though. Like unlike other teams where they lost a guy and I'd be concerned, I'm not concerned at all. But it's a big loss. So
yeah, Washington. So Oving has resigned for a year. That's their biggest news. Outside of that, Boone Jenner signed 4 years. Yeah, it's
Cairo.
Cairo. Outside of that, nothing. But let's talk about Cairo and let's talk about Ovi a little bit.
I really like what Washington did. Now you have to understand their mentality. It's like Pittsburgh. They are going to go for it as long as they have Ovechkin. So you could argue that maybe they shouldn't be going for it, and that's valid. But you have to understand that they're not going to entertain that argument. They're going to go for it, just like Pittsburgh's going to go for it. But I really like what Washington did. I don't like what Pittsburgh did. The Cairo trade, that's going for it. I like it. I like, Boone Jenner is a real, I mean, you got like Boone Jenner, Tom Wilson. These guys, they're going to be really hard to play against. And I think I would put Washington as an A because I personally wouldn't go for it if I was them. But if you're going to go for it, they did a pretty good job. And I think Pittsburgh did a horrible job. Chinakhov better score 30 goals for Pittsburgh. Otherwise, they're going to be lost. Or Kuzmenko better revisit his form from 22-23. So yeah, Washington, I give him an A.
Yeah, and now to our last team, Winnipeg. They signed Skinner as I think it's gonna be a replacement for Hellebuyck because I think he's gonna leave inevitably. Aside from that, Perfetti as a restricted free agent.
Do you have their other goalie besides Skinner and Hellebuyck? Who's their backup last year? I'm blanking. I just can't remember. Wasn't Marzlikins, right?
No, I'm blanking as well.
Anyway, first of all, there are a few guys that I don't want on my team, and Stu Skinner and Tristan Jarry are two of those guys. They're toxic. I don't want those guys on my team. I don't care about the numbers. I do not want to see Stu Skinner in my locker room. I don't care that he won some playoff games. They made it to the, Stanley Cup Finals, blah, blah, blah. That's a terrible signing. That guy is garbage. And I'm sorry, but you don't sign Stu Skinner and try to claim that you're not doing this because Hellebuck's leaving. You are absolutely scared that Hellebuck's going to leave. Otherwise, you're not signing Stu Skinner. He's terrible. Who's their backup?
It doesn't show here.
Okay. We'll have to get on that. But to me, it's like we don't know what the grade is for Winnipeg because we don't know what's going on. If they lose Hellebuck, they're completely screwed. Completely screwed. And it's an F. I'm sorry.
I mean, you have Morrissey, you have
Con.
You have Connor, you have Shively, you have Perfetti. Will you resign Perfetti? You really have to. But really, that's kind of it. I mean, Velarde, but that's really it. If Hellebuyck goes, you're like huge hole in the net, and Skinner is definitely not the man for that. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Winnipeg had to do very much.
Yeah.
They won the President's Trophy a couple of years ago. I mean, but the Hellebuyck thing, and again, an American playing for a Canadian team, it's a thing, and it's really scary. Hellebuyck is top 5 best goalie in the league. Like I'd put him in the top 5. I don't think that's a controversial statement.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the whole thing. And then the other thing is that it's like the Dylan Larkin thing. If he stays, what's the mindset like? What's the attitude like? What's the vibe like in that locker room? Because it's got to be weird, Things must have been said. I don't really follow the team. I don't know what the insider stuff is, but to the extent that the relationship is broken down, it's going to be really bad. So
yeah,
kind of like postponing their grade. We'll see what happens. If Hellebuyck stays, I'd give him a B plus. It's fine. If Hellebuyck leaves, I think it's the worst grade possible.
Yeah. If we'll do a B for now, we'll see what happens. And that'll conclude our pod. This was a long one, but we've made sure to have a really good one for you, ranking all of these teams. And make sure to check out MegaHockey.com, and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one. Enjoy summer, guys.
And peace out.